this month's episode of the Whiteboard Game, the boys talk about their favourite albums of all time. Alright, welcome back to the Whiteboard Game podcast. This is the third season, the third series. I believe we're on episode 6 now, which technically means we're halfway through the season. Well, after this episode we will be. So stick around for that monumentous occasion. This is the game. I'll give you a little recap. Where we share each other extracts of music. We make each other guess who made it, what the name of the song is, the genre and the year that it came out. We test each other. It's like a pseudo competition, and then we see who wins at the end. Today we have a theme, as we always do. I don't know why I said today. It is commonplace here. This is a theme which I think we've actually done the most of. I don't know which number.
Probably, it wouldn't surprise me.
This is going to be of this theme.
Who's counting?
We will see. This is the favourite albums game. It is... we make... this will be like our top 200 albums. We're massive nerds who have too much free time. I think the rule we've used in previous games is where we have the elusive fifth category. And this will be to determine where in the ranking that album is. And I think we've said before, if we get within about 7, then we can have the point for that category. So I believe we'll be doing that again. That's everything I have to say about the game. Anything you'd like to mention? Stuff that's been going on? Band-related stuff?
Have you told them my name?
If I told them your name?
Yeah, have you introduced me proper? It's very rude.
See, I'd have thought that by the third season they'd know who you are by now. I made that assumption.
Yeah, but does anyone really know me at all? Do I know me, you know?
I'm with Frederick. Well, here's the thing. I call you Fred, but you want to go by Frederick, so I'm here with Frederick.
And lo and behold, you have uncovered one of the issues of introducing me. Does anyone really know me?
I'm sorry, I'm too tired for philosophy.
That's
fine. Yeah, I'm with you. What's going on?
You're with me? Oh, okay. You're with me, yes. What's going on? I mean, well, probably only imperative to talk about Idiotwin matters. We're in July at this point, aren't we? We're at the start of July.
No, start of August.
When you'll be here. Start of August, blimey. We're at the start of August when you'll be hearing this. So we would have just hosted at the second time, for the second time at Theatre Ship in Canary Wharf. We would have been joined by the likes of Sam Brothers and hopefully Imma, maybe Imma FM. I'm not too sure what she wants to go by at this point, but we'll figure that one out. But maybe a fourth artist, who knows? Maybe Idiotwin twice. Maybe that's the fourth artist. What a reveal. I'm sure it's sold out. I'm sure you were there. If you weren't there, you can probably watch it on YouTube either now or soon. You can come to our next show, our next hosted one at least, which will be at 21 Soho on the 9th of September. It's going to be very, very good. And then you can look up for other shows in the future. Because there'll always be more. There'll always be more. We're always working. How about you? Anything to say? This guy's Chris. This guy's just Chris. I love Chris.
That's
Chris,
my name.
anything to add?
Nothing to add. I can't think of anything to say other than the fact that this is a little bit... We've done these episodes before where we're not in the same room as each other. We're having to record this separately for reasons. Work is the reason.
Yeah.
But hopefully the quality is still nice. We're using some nice microphones, so
You're using a shiny new microphone.
I bought a new one with the money I'm getting from my job. And it will become very useful for the next Idiot Twin LP. Which starting to promote this probably 2 years before it actually comes out, but anyway.
No, don't speak that into existence. You're promoting it a good 8 months before it gets released. Why not?
Without further ado, should we begin?
We should begin. I think we should.
Okay. Scroll back up to remind myself of your first extract.
Yeah.
Yes. See, we did these in sort of preparation, so I don't remember a few of these, but I will. I'm really struggling to do two things at once. I'm just going to go straight to my guess.
That's not because he's tired.
This is
That's not because he's tired. It's just a man thing.
I thought this was Donovan. Sounded like Donovan.
Okay.
He said Jefferson Airplane, and I thought, is this one of them instances where a band have got their name from the name of a song of a different band? I thought it could be. He said Jefferson Airplane. I said psych pop, because he was psychedelic, and I suppose this was sort of what popular music was back then. 1967. I just realised I haven't actually put rankings for these, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna do it on the spot.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say that this is ranked number. I'm gonna assume it's sort of like lower middle of your sub-topster, so I'm gonna say it's number 171.
Okay, cool. I think, there are a couple I've chosen for this, which are purely there because it's nice to reminisce on the things that matter to you and you haven't spoken about in a while. So I don't have anything particularly original, at least for you to hear about this, Chris. But, I'll say what I can about Donovan for, any, vehement Donovan fans who'll be listening to this and going, no, please talk about my Scottish goat, Donovan. It is Donovan. It is called The Fat Angel off of Sunshine Superman.
Yes, Sunshine Superman.
Fantastic album. Released in 1966. I put psych folk. I'm going to give you 3 points for this. This ranks, and not intentionally, but it just so happened that I'd already chosen the extract and then went, oh, would you look at that? At number 69. Nice. Nothing funny about that number, of course. Nothing funny. People laugh, but they won't tell me what's funny about it. I just think it's such a good folk album. I think Donovan, he probably does like himself quite a bit, but sometimes it is warranted. Every single track on this thing is a banger. The title track is amazing, so catchy. And then you've got Season of the Witch, and I listen to that, and it's like one of 5 songs that makes me wish I didn't dislike Halloween, because maybe it would unlock a level of vibe to that song I just haven't discovered yet, because it is so good. But yeah, the fact that there's no reason I chose this one in particular. It's just a track off of it. I like the bit where the chorus is normally, fly strange love airways, get yourself on time. And then just for one of the choruses, he just switches it to Fly Jefferson Airplane, Get Yourself on Time. And I don't know if that is a sort of artist getting inspired by another musician to name themselves that, or I'd like to think that Jefferson Airplane were 60s because they were like Woodstock.
I thought that as well, yeah.
So I'd like to think that they were probably just contemporaries, and it's like a bit of a shout out.
Yeah.
Which either way is pretty cool. If this album had, in particular for me, the two songs Jennifer Juniper and Atlantis on it, this would be like a top 30 album for me, probably, because it's already so consistent, but those songs are gems. 3 points. Good start.
Nice, thank you. I'd like to shout out the song Ferris Wheel as well. I'm a big fan
banger.
of that one. But I do think the title track is probably my favourite. That is eternally a great track.
Yeah. It's one of the great discoveries found through the English music A-level curriculum as a reference track provided for our teachers when they said, listen to some Donovan. And I went and did. And I went, blimey, this is solid. Your first one, it's one of those guesses for me that I'm quite proud of because I think it makes a lot of sense in my head from the very limited knowledge I have of this artist. But that being said, if it is wrong, I'm not going to get fussed about it, I don't think. I thought this was the Indie-tronica. This echoed the Indie-tronica potential of Panchico. I don't know if this was because I was listening to your extracts once they'd finally loaded in after leaving my antisocial tuition like work hours. I was on the way home and I was listening to them either as I was walking along or on public transport, so I couldn't quite make everything out. But this sounded, it was incredibly difficult to make out words on this one. I thought maybe the person said Soul Scent. I went for sort of Panchico years. I said 2000, but I know they've since released sort of newer stuff. So I could be out of luck if it is them. We'll see. I said Indie-tronica. I said 164th. And what I'm going to do, I'll tell you this now as a podcast producer, is I've been left all of the remaining salad from family dinner. So you're going to have to edit out. I won't say anything, but you just need to cut out a big chunk of like very, very quiet clinks and clanks.
Yum.
It's very good salad, by the way. It's a very good salad.
Okay, it's not Panchico. I'm going to give you 1 point now.
What? I said I wouldn't be upset.
It's a musician I mentioned, I think a couple games ago, in the Countries one. It is an artist whose solo stuff, he goes by the name of Atlas Sound. That being Mr. Bradford Cox, who I think he was saying that Atlas Sound was actually a name he'd had for himself since he was really young. So I think it's quite sweet that he kept it going. The track is called Kid Klimax. Klimax is spelt with a K, so it's alliterative. Indie-tronica, indie pop. It said Indie-tronica, but I wanted to have some other genre term there. And it was quite hard to pinpoint. The only thing it really reminded me of is some like early Ween stuff, but that's really hard to pinpoint genre-wise as well. It came out in 2009 because it was off of, I'd maybe argue his most popular solo album, Logos, which is currently sitting at number 131. This is a new one that I've listened to. It has the track I used before, Walkabout, on it. And I listened to it just from being intrigued by that song and wanting to listen to more of that sort of stuff. And I suppose the reviews I'd seen online were sort of saying sort of something between what separates this music from just another Deer Hunter song, Deer Hunter being the band that he was in and most prominently known for, as well as sort of saying I can't remember if people were sort of finding it a bit just sort of uninteresting, a bit flat, maybe a bit inconsistent. But I remember listening to it for the first time and sort of thinking, those thoughts don't even enter your mind in a way, because if you're enjoying it to that extent, it really doesn't matter. Is what I'm trying to say. Whether it's similar to other stuff, whether a lot of the songs are jumping out, sort of being really not in your face, but maybe grabbing your attention a bit more. If I were to, it's sort of become a bit of like a comfort album almost. I don't actually. Do you know what? I can't think of many albums I have that I'd describe as comfort albums. I'd maybe say Making Mirrors.
Well, like a safe place.
Yeah, well, yeah, like an album that is comforting and you'd be happy to put on 99% of the time when you're sort of eyeing up an album to listen to. I'd probably put Making Mirrors by Gautier and Person Pitch by Panda Bear up there as well. But Logos has been the one for me at the moment. It just feels to me like none of the songs are trying to be too like outlandish and boundary pushing. It feels quite comfortable in its own weird niche. A lot of the songs are quite weird. I mean, the vocals on this track, for one, are incredibly distorted. You can't hear what he's saying, really. It feels generally quite inoffensive. I was just surprised at how much I enjoyed it, really. If I were to compare it to anything, I'd probably say he's clearly quite inspired by a lot of this sort of era of Animal Collective. So if you're into Animal Collective, if you're into Ween as well, I'd heavily recommend it. This track reminded me a lot of Demon Sweat off of The Pod by Ween. So fans of those bands, do please check this album out. I think it's pretty good. I'm not going to speak too much more on it, but I'm probably going to try and listen to more of his solo stuff, because I was quite in enjoyment of it, and why stop there? So there you go.
I think for me, nothing is ever going to displace Wetland as the ultimate comfort album. It just feels safe. I also like to I like that it's called Logos, because as we all know, Logos is a Greek word, of course.
No, I didn't actually know that.
Well, it's the problem with it is it's very difficult to explain. Not in terms of its direct definition. It literally means like reason. But in like ancient Greek philosophy, it's this like profound natural order of the gods and the cosmos and everything that we can never properly understand, and it all gets a bit profound. But I don't know. I think it's quite nice that you have the contrast of that really grand word in a philosophical context, and then you saying, "Yes, it's a comfort album. It's cozy. It's nice." I think that's lovely.
Yeah, interesting bit of Greek lore there.
There you go, Greek lore for you. Greek lore.
Going to head on to your number 2. This is a very pleasant one to hear because a bit of Chris lore. I sampled this song in my track. It really ain't that bad.
Oh no.
I can remember most of the things about it. One of them is not the title.
Okay.
I can't remember because there was a title that was coming to me, but I'm pretty sure it was something akin to that off of one of his other albums.
Sure.
But I think this is a Sufjan Stevens song. He said to see you at last. I don't think that's the title of it. Yeah. I said art pop and art folk because it felt a bit arty. It felt like we had some interesting instruments going on. 2006, I think it's off of his album Seven Swans. Something like that. I put that you ranked it 164. Yeah, I've vaguely remembered it being one that you thought was decent, but not like tippity top Sufjan sort of stuff for you, but like you like it, you know.
That is 1, 2, 3 points. I'll give you 3 points.
Thank you.
It is absolutely Mr. Stevens. This one is called... I haven't been putting the album titles. What's wrong with me? This is In the Devil's Territory.
Yes.
Released in 2004 off of Seven Swans. I've put chamber folk, Christian folk. Art folk absolutely counts. It's folk with quite a vision behind it, which I suppose is Sufjan Stevens music generally. Sort of folk music just blown to quite a cinematic proportion. It's currently set at 149th. Seven Swans. I mean, a few things to say about Seven Swans, but nothing too extensive. Is that it is probably the greatest or my favourite sort of, I guess, Christian, like faith-driven album or project beyond anything classical. I think you and I have spoken quite a bit before about how things that get bracketed in with, and you've got to imagine here, rare occasion where we're not face to face doing this, but you've got to imagine me doing inverted commas with my fingers, quote unquote rather, Christian rock, which we have agreed can tend to be quite uninspired musically at times. But this, I mean, it's Christian. It's Christian folk, Christian pop, whatever you want to call it, with the artistry of Sufjan Stevens. And as I've just said, this guy loves a concept and he achieves it. He's one for the blown up ensemble. You know, he's very good at it. And I think, is it a flexotone, the thing that goes, ooh?
I don't know. I can't remember hearing that sound, if I'm being honest.
I think there's it feels like a rising pitch throughout. And I don't know if it's a flexotone. It's the wobbly percussion thing that sounds like you're shaking metal. It sounds like that to me. And if it is that, that's a very Sufjan Stevens thing, because of course it's in his ensemble. Why not? It's one of my favourite tracks off the album. I think a couple of these choices in today's game are just albums I've re-listened to recently and just want to celebrate once again.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of them. I think re-listening to it was a bit of an eye-opener of, oh no, this really can compete with his other stuff. It is amazing. There's a real depth to it as well, because it's him exploring his own faith, and it gets almost a bit sort of scary at times because he's trying to capture the scale of the divine. And then the only other thing I have to say is that 104, I'm saying very positive things, and you think it's 149th, it's not even in the top 100, but it is sort of, and it will only get worse every time we do this game. So, goodness knows how I'm meant to feel the further on we go with the Topster games. But for me currently, it's almost impossible to discern between the majority of the top 200 on certain days. And I do say this every time we do a Topster game, but the more music I listen to, the more arbitrary the rankings become for me, because anything within the top 200 is like me recommending to you, the listener, an album that I think you have to listen to before you die, kind of thing. And so it gets quite difficult to say, well, why would you pick this one over this one? And on most days, honestly, I'd only be able to say, I don't really know. That's just the way I've ordered it. But it sits at 149th today, and it's got a new 3 points.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
Very nice. Your number 2, I put the wrong answer. I want you to know this. Just throw a curveball out there for you. Instead of saying, "Oh, I know I put the right answer," I just no. I'm confident that this is wrong. I haven't put a genre. I just haven't put a genre. Why have I not put a genre?
Very wrong answer.
This was. I mean, to be honest, I think I don't normally do this, but I think this time I can't go wrong if I put that. We'll see. You might prove me wrong. I know it isn't this person, but I've only put it because it feels like it was a similar time to when this person would have been doing their thing. I've gone for one of the Wilsons. I just put Dennis. I know it isn't, but it felt like a similar time period, not dissimilar sound. I said, sometimes I don't know what to feel. I said 1970. I just said pop. Shout out our friend Tom. You know the one.
Pop.
I said 187th.
Nice. Do you know what's very amusing? You're really close to 4 points.
Oh, crazy!
You got 3. And you're 1 point away from the positioning.
It will happen this game. One of us will get one.
This is I can't remember the last game I used this artist. Might have been a recent favourites game. This is Todd Rundgren.
Oh yeah.
The track is Sometimes I Don't Know What to Feel. For genres, I would have given you Blue-Eyed Soul, which after looking up, it is literally white man's soul.
Fair
that
enough.
is
Okay.
the idea behind it. I put pop rock as well. I think when you say Todd Rundgren, I feel like pop rock should be in your mind. That's what I'd associate with him mostly. 1973, pretty close. Your guess. And it's number 179th for me. It's his album, A Wizard / A True Star. I think it's meant to be like a double album sort of thing. I don't remember a load from the album. It's only one that I've listened to once, and haven't really found the drive to go back into it. But I've sort of placed it fairly comfortably within my sub-topster to remind myself that it is something I liked quite a bit upon first listen, and would like to get back to. I think he's a massive maverick. He can do everything. He can write the music, he can play the instruments, he can produce it as well. I think he could do with putting a bit more bass in his song, I must say, but incredibly talented. Very inspiring. And a bit mental as well. Like there's some of the songs you hear on this thing and you go, 1973, that shouldn't have been possible. That's a bit like, was this guy doing this stuff with tapes? Like, I don't really know what the accessible format would have been back then, but yeah, for the people who like their blue-eyed soul or pop rock, their 1970s pop rock sort of stuff, Todd Rundgren is the direction to look if you're looking for something a little bit more artistic, maybe in like a, you know, we're using crazy synth sounds and it's 1973 sort of thing. So yeah, there you go. Good point for you, that one.
I've done all right there. Even though we have just spoken about Todd Rundgren, still shout out Dennis Wilson. What a boy. Yeah, Todd Rundgren, the art pop rocker. There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna remind myself of your next one. This, I quite liked this one. I think probably because it reminded me of. Do you know there are a few like slacker rocky sort of ones that you used, which, I'm a slacker rock kind of guy, and what can I say? You know, I like my slacker rock, so I'm excited to see who the artists are for them. It is upon typing this answer in that I'm looking at it now and going, I've guessed Duster, but I think there's a good chance that it could be Horse Jumper of Love. I know you like them quite a bit. I'm not going to change my answer, but just a thought. Tales of Our House was something he sang. It was quite a hard one to hear the lyrics for. But that feels like quite a nice phrase. Maybe I need to write a song called Tales of Our House. Yeah, Slacker Rock. 2002, a bit too early, generally. But I was trying to go for that sort of contemporary movement sort of era. And then number 109.
Very good. This is 1 point for you.
Okay.
I'm glad you mentioned Slacker Rock. You've reminded me to say that I think that going into this game when I was selecting my extracts, I was thinking to myself, I think this could be a very Chris friendly game, not in terms of like, oh, he's definitely going to get the points, but I like to think he might really enjoy one or two of my extracts here. I think a couple of them might be very Chris coded. Or if he then goes on to explore, I say he, I'm talking at you. If you go on to explore the albums, I think you there are a couple here that you could take a lot of joy from. This is I want to say band, but it might be a bit of a Tame Impala situation. Where it is actually just one guy. Let me check for you. Is it just one guy? Is it just one guy? It is. No, it's not just one guy. He's a liar. Okay.
It's a whole band.
They're called Helvetia. And this is called Junk Shop. Released in 2009 off of the album Helvetia's Junk Shop. It is slacker rock, slowcore, neo-psych, and this is my Joker.
Nice.
There are sort of 3 or 4 songs on this I really enjoy. This, it's kind of like the title track, isn't it? Is, I'd say, the best thing on it. Closely contested by, there's another great song called All the Money Is Gone. It is just really, really, really nice slacker rock. And from that perspective, I genuinely don't have anything else to say other than if you're into slacker rock, you'll enjoy this. Chris, I think you personally will enjoy this album. Yeah. But I've lied, by the way. There is one more thing to say. It's very funny. It's very, very funny that you say duster.
I have just looked that up. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Mm.
So, there is Jason Albertini as the main man. It is why I said, I don't know if it's a Tame Impala situation, because when you go and listen to Helvetia on YouTube, which is where I listen to my music, it's just uploaded to his YouTube account. It's just his name.
All right.
And like, I don't know, if I was one of the band members, I'd be like, Jason, man, can you upload this to like the band's YouTube account soon? And he'll be like, oh, I'll get on it. Don't worry, I'll get on it. Never does. But he appears to have been the drummer, amongst other things, for Duster during what I suppose you could call... Actually, no, it's not the golden years. He left only recently. He left in 2022, it would appear. So he was part of the core trio for quite a long time with Duster. He was there in the golden years, I suppose. So that's where the slackeriness comes from, in effect. Perhaps one of the kings of that sound, although they are, of course, slowcore more than anything else. That is all I have to say. 1 point for you.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, nice introduction, yeah. Well, with Kane and Davamba as well, one of the other members of Duster. Very cool.
It's, it took me a while to figure out the Helvetia lore, because as I say, every time you click on YouTube, you just see his name. And so it takes a while to do the research and go, oh no, this guy's been around. He's not just like some indie musician uploading his stuff onto YouTube. Which I was convinced of for a time. For your third one we're on, yes. I had written something else, can't even remember what I'd written, but I had a bit of a bolt of logic. And even if it is wrong, again, I like the answer. Because I don't necessarily know enough about this band yet to be sure of what they sound like. But it is a band that you'd been talking about quite a bit, so I thought maybe they will show up in this game. Maybe it's inevitable. I said Alice in Chains. I don't know if it's not heavy enough for them. I'm not sure. I don't know if they are even that heavy. I know very little about them. I said it was called Treading on Ghosts. I said it was released in 1996. I said alt-rock, hard rock, bit of grunge maybe. And if it is Alice in Chains, again, you were talking about them a lot. Why not be in the top 100? So I said 85th.
Interesting logic. You get 2 points.
Thank you very much.
It is a grungy sort of band. It's a grungy sort of band I talked about before. I listened to a bit of Alice in Chains, so you might recognise their name. It's a band called Failure.
Yeah,
the track
and that is what this is. You see, so
Solaris. I mean, I wouldn't consider 2 points a failure. It's pretty good. Cool. Track is called Solaris. I put alt rock / grunge. 1996. You're spot on with the year. It's currently sitting number 170th for me, off of their album Fantastic Planet, with the supreme album cover. I must say, it's one of my favourite album covers. It is.
Is it like the astronauts or whatever it is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really good. A really good cover. Look at it. And tell me that doesn't inspire you to listen to the actual album. That's literally the reason why I listened to it. And clearly I thought it was good. It it's an interesting grunge. I'd say it's generally grunge, but it clearly goes into different avenues. I appreciate like the just like the I don't even know how to describe it. Like there's some grunge that you listen to that it's just super gritty. Very sort of its time, I think, and I think a lot of Failure was that. What can I say about the album? I think it's quite a long one. It's like an hour. It's like an hour and 10 or something. Pretty big album. So I think in that sense, it requires a lot more in terms of consistency to keep you occupied. Sorry, pardon me, that was a yawn. To keep you occupied throughout that time. And for me, I think it does. I listened to it quite a few times around the time that I got into it. So I found it quite interesting. I was quite eager to get more into grunge as well at the time. Just really nice guitar playing. Bass and drums are great too. I'd maybe say the only part of it that I'm even slightly disappointed by is the lyrics. I think they can be a little bit tame at points, maybe leave a bit to be desired, but I think the vibe alone, the singer really gets across very well. So it's not something that gets in my way of enjoyment for the album, perhaps. One of the more lesser known grunge acts that I definitely recommend. I think there is generally a subtle space theme throughout the album as well. Fans of grunge, give it a go. I think it's
fans of grunge, give it a go.
I think it's pretty good. Enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take my 2 points that aren't a failure in failing to correctly say failure. Be interesting. I'd like someone to. They probably already have to make a rate your music playlist of albums with space album art. Not necessarily music about space, just space album art. And then we can compare how spacey the space album art albums are. Would that be a good use of my time? Probably not, but it's fine.
Not a bad idea.
No, not a bad idea. I'm not going to do it if no one else does, but
You're helping me listen to your next extract by speaking so I can find your extract. Anyways, this was I haven't actually guessed the artist I've put for this correctly yet. In any game.
Oh. Wow.
I don't think. But her voice is distinctive, and I think you've been on sort of like a renaissance with this band, in terms of you liked them quite a bit when you first listened to them, and they're getting sort of back into it now and rediscovering how much you liked them. I think the band's called Gregory and the Hawk. I vaguely remember the times that you've played it before, and when you've spoken about the lead singer, her voice being very twee, and that's certainly someone I associate with this. So even if it's not them, I think there They're quite reminiscent. This is not the time for goodbyes. I thought was quite an eloquent phrase that she used, so I thought you put it as a title. Twee folk, if that is even a thing, and 2018.
What's your ranking?
Yeah, I forgot to put a ranking, didn't I? Let me edit that quickly.
This brother hates getting points. He hates
what would I say is, I completely forgot to do them when I did this. I would probably say it is this ranking, which is number 146.
You're not far off. This is 2 points.
Thank you.
It is absolutely the voice of Meredith Godrow, of Gregory and the Hawk. Incredibly distinctive. I think I do find twee folk funny, because I think a lot of folk is inherently twee. I think. Yeah. I think to Donovan, I think there's, even with him, there's something a bit twee about it. But there is. I have not yet found music more twee than Gregory and the Hawk. Is what I'll say. Mm-hmm. This one's called Voice Like a Bell. Nice. No, it's not. I've completely. Why have I? The time of day that we are recording this at, guys, these kind of mistakes will keep coming up. This is, and even as I'm typing this, I'm thinking these guys aren't English. They probably haven't spelt grey like that, but it doesn't matter. This is called Grey Weather, from the 2008 release Moni and Kitschy. I had indie folk, chamber pop, twee pop, and it currently sits at 160th. And this is the second album following Seven Swans, which I just wanted to include because it's something I've re-listened to, and I just want to celebrate the quality that I think it has. I really value this album. I think it has been the most recent listen where I have properly come to realise that it doesn't just sound nice, and she hasn't got a very unique voice. It's not only those elements. It's that lyrically, it is quite gutting at times. She crafts her words on occasion, in particular on this album, with you know, just they land real punches. You know, she's speaking to the weather in this song, asking it to save her. And then you have this refrain of, you say this is not the time for goodbyes, it's too late. And you wonder if that's the seasonal change talking to her or someone talking to her, which seems to be a recurring theme on the album. There are lots of references to perhaps a relationship ending. I think of, which one is it, which talks about someday, is it Oats We Sow that I think so? Someday I'll toss all your presents, or I'll burn all your presents maybe, and bury the letters left unsent, which I think is such a lovely way of putting it. It's a really pretty album that isn't just pretty. It is, in a way, another one of those like safe spaces that you were talking about for quite a powerful feeling. When someone when a duo as tender as Gregory and the Hawk, with a vocalist as, you know, if you were to judge just by her delivery and her vocal tone, as sympathetic as Meredith Godrow seems to be when she performs, it absolutely is a safe space that lets you know you're not alone in this one. You don't need to be. Even though quite a major theme on the album seems to be about being alone. It's funny how that works. Lovely album. Really, really easy listen. Give it 3 or 4 and you realise how good it is. Because it's not too long either. I think that was 2 points for you.
Thank you. Cheers. Yeah.
You are welcome.
I think that is the first time I've guessed them right. I'm happy.
You've cracked the code with that one. I mean, there are many with you that took me a while to crack. I think to sort of the dark, sort of They Might Be Giants early days and things like this. Your number 4 This is a hodgepodge of an answer, by the way. This is probably the most outlandish answer I've got here. I thought it sounded like any one of the individual or any variation of the collective Beatles ensemble. So I just put the Beatles, and if it's one of them, maybe I get a half point. If you're feeling nice, I don't know. Probably isn't. I said it was called Anything More. I said 1970. I said Jangle Pop. It felt a bit jangly. And I had absolutely no idea where to put it, so I said 199th.
Okay, interesting.
Mental answer. I accept it.
I was amused by your Jangle Pop inclusion. It feels like a proto-Jangle Pop, maybe. It is another band that I've mentioned. I think it's similarly with the Todd Rundgren one. I think the last time I mentioned them was on the recent Favourites game we did a few months ago. It's a 60s band who I think only made one album. They're meant to be like a sort of collection of like local musicians sort of band, maybe not too dissimilar from Toto, called the Millennium. The track is called It's You. Psych Pop. I'll give you Jangle Pop. So I think you get a total of 2 points.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was the jangliness that I liked about it, so it felt right to give you the point there. 1968.
I'm thankful I wasn't hallucinating when I was listening to it then. That's good.
Number 147 on my ranking. The album's called Begin. I've listened to this a few times, and it is. I would describe it as consistent. If you're into your 60s psych pop, sunshine pop. Is it the Laurel Canyon scene?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
In California. It's a good one to go into. I think what helps is because there's lots of different songwriters on here. It means that you're almost sort of getting a combination of everyone's best stuff, and they're all pretty good songwriters, I'd say. I used their song To Claudia on Tuesday. I think it might be Thursday, actually. To Claudia on Thursday.
She can have every day, Claudia. She's all right.
In my previous game that I used them on, sorry. And I think I was saying that I thought that was a Michael Fennelly and Joey Steck one. They write a few songs together on here. And I think Michael Fennelly was singing that one. I think Michael Fennelly is singing this one as well. It's really hard to tell because the production in this sort of time, it's not always going to be of the quality we know now, where it makes things like telling who it is, distinguishing who it is, doesn't make it very easy. On top of that, not really having a load of catalogue from the artists themselves beyond this band that's easily accessible. But this was one of the ones that struck me again, that the jangly guitar riff is gorgeous. I really like the vocal melodies that swoop over the during the verses. You've generally just sort of got playing the tonic chord throughout most of it. And I think the vocal melodies do some lovely stuff over that. A bit that I played you had like a 3/4 breakdown almost. And I really like that section. I think the way that they transition into it and out of it, perfect. It feels really it feels really groovy. I don't know how else to describe that. It's very feels very natural, I think. And it's quite hard to get that right. So I keep yawning. Sorry.
Which is weird, as I say. You know, the time of day we're recording this, and what I was implying was this is actually the middle of the day. There's nothing weird about it. The time we're recording this, nothing weird at all.
Yeah, don't have too much more to say. I think again, one of the best things about this album, I'd say, is its consistency. Just very good top to bottom. Not going to be a lot of things that you turn your nose up at if you don't already like some of the songs, you know.
Yeah.
So would recommend to any fan of the 60s and the Beatles, as you
just as a
put,
decade,
so.
And the Beatles, yeah.
So there you go.
I think there's so much to be said, actually, for a consistent album, a consistent project, because the number of times I have, say, started an album, the first 2 tracks slap, and then the more you listen to it, the more you just go, oh, this is just quite up and down. And then even though you've got these amazing tracks on there, I find that your overriding feeling is disappointment. I think it takes real artistic care to make a project that, as you say, top to bottom, just keeps hitting a set level over and over again. That isn't easy.
100%. Yeah, I think that's why lots of albums generally it's hard to make a good album, you know, because I think one of the big quantifiers of having a good album is it's got to be good top to bottom, you know. It's like a film, really, you know. If you if you go to watch a film and the beginning's good and the ending's good, but the middle's like not really interesting, you're not necessarily going to go away from it you know, thinking, oh, it's one of these top tier films, you know, right up there. But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fred's extract number 5. And this is one which amused me to hear because
okay.
For listeners, this is one in which audio for which has been used in a lot of memes.
Yes.
And we've gone past your Joker, so I'm intrigued to see that this has landed somewhere. Or maybe it's just a lot more obvious than I'm making out, and I just have no idea. It's the song that goes. It's the very sad song where she goes. And it'll be over a meme.
Beautifully sung, by the way.
Thank you. That's in like a grayscale and it's all in slow motion, and you feel like crying. It's like that. Female singer. And I was sort of thinking, well, if we're thinking about when the meme was sort of, it's an early meme, like early 2010s. So you know, it's got to be like a 2000 sort of artist. I'm thinking, female singer. My guess is a bit random. I don't really think it's these guys. I haven't listened to them much, but they're obscure enough to me. Well, not obscure, but like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know enough about them, so the guess feels good. I guess the yeahs. Wait, they don't love me like I love you. Those guys. Just, I mean, if it is, you know, just perpetual meme status. Sad song. No lyrics to discern, so I described what I heard. Indie rock. It was one of those weird ones where you've heard a song so long that you don't even really know what genre it is. I sort of thought, if we're thinking around that sort of time, maybe it's indie. I don't know. 2008. Once again, I haven't put a ranking, so let me do that now. I'm I'm going to guess quite low, I think, generally, just because I would be... I don't know. Number 187. I'm going to stop waffling.
Yeah, cool. I'm not going to try and say too much because this is, and you are going to be surprised. This is an album I've already said quite a bit about recently. You are going to be surprised, not because it's something that you know well, but just because like I've caught you a couple of times with this album, and I think maybe in your mind you'd gone, as we would both do naturally in this game, you'd kind of say to yourself, oh, he's not going to catch me out again. But I knew I had this final one up my sleeve. I knew I was going to be able to catch you up with it one more time at least with this one. This is Blonde Redhead.
That's crazy. Oh wow!
Is it not ridiculous? Is it not ridiculous?
That is ridiculous.
There is a song on the album called For the Damaged, and then the outro of the album is For the Damaged Coda, which is this. And it was released in 2000 off of the album Melody of Certain Damaged Lemons, which remains, maybe even more so you can understand me when I say this now, one of the strangest albums I've ever heard. I've got Art Rock, currently sits at 148th, because whilst it's strange, there's something gosh darn good about it, man. I am giving you a point for the genre.
Thank you.
What two things can I tell you about? Well, I've got three things. Firstly, you will, I mean, how, you know, if you flash back by about a minute and you can feel what you felt as you let out that laugh when you saw Blonde Redhead pop up. I want you to imagine that, but like you're actually listening to the album for the first time, and you've got no idea what's coming. And you hear For the Damaged as a proper song with lyrics, with the female singer singing, and I am going to get her name up because I never learn band members' names. It's very bad of me. And you're thinking, this chord progression sounds a bit familiar. This is a bit strange. Kazuo Makino, the I want to say Japanese lady, Kazuo Makino. She was born in Kyoto, yes. She has a proper version of the song with lyrics earlier in the album, and you get that chord progression sound from it, and then you get this, For the Damaged Coda. Is it related to the, oh my god, and you're in public, you're on a bus or something, and you're trying not to like start convulsing. It's just so left field. You might find it even funnier when I tell you why it became a meme. I think it became a meme because it was used as one of the recurring themes for a character in Rick and Morty.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'd never guess that.
In a much more interestingly artistic wise point, the piano and the chord progression is actually based off of the Nocturne in F minor from Chopin's Opus 55. So there you go.
Interesting.
This album is just insane. It's just insane. The amount of stuff they fit into what is sub 40 minutes. The unsettling atmosphere they create, and then you've got the meme song at the end out of nowhere. This album's really cool. It's so cool. It feels like it's hiding something from you, and it never tells you what it is. I've never actually watched Rick and Morty. I don't want to, but if I ever did, it would be because of this song. I've done it the wrong way round. I found the song and then discovered the show rather than the other way round. Yeah, mental. I've taken a lot of joy from how funny you found that. It's made me very happy. Enjoy your 1 point and your bemusement.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fascinating. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's really cathartic now that I've finally got that one out of my system. I've been sitting on that for a while. Your number 5, as we get into Halfway House. I couldn't necessarily think of a different name other than this. It probably isn't, but it could be. Unless there's like... I mean, it would be amazing if you said it is this person and they're actually making a 2026 comeback. That might be my highlight of the game if you did say that. But it had all of the trappings of a St. Pepsi Vaporwave release. So I said St. Pepsi and I said Vaporwave. I was trying to work out any words within the sort of chopped sample. I said maybe the word unmissable might creep in. So I said unmissable. I said 2015, as I said, Vaporwave. And you like St. Pepsi, but, you know, he's got a few records. I said 151st.
Interesting, okay. Remember when I'm playing these extracts back, because we're scrolling so far down in our chat, it cuts it out at an annoying point. But anyways... It is St. Pepsi.
Crazy.
I'll type it in chat. The track is called Ajax. Don't ask me why it's called that.
Crazy.
I have no idea, but it's an amusing title.
Maybe he just likes that Ten Hag Ajax side. Who knows?
Big fan of Johan Cruyff back in the day. Maybe Johan Cruyff played for Ajax. Be surprised if he didn't.
Absolutely.
Future Funk. I'll probably give you Vaporwave for the point.
Great. Thank you.
2023 is a newer one. It's a Joker. It's off of an album of his called Cash Wednesday. Now, when we think about lost albums, we think about Smile by the Beach Boys, right? What if I told you...
We do.
Vaporwave has its own Smile story.
That is mental.
Let me tell you about Cash Wednesday.
I'm all ears. I am all ears. This is like a Summoning Salt video now. I'm hooked.
So, I think it was... if we're thinking back to, you know, classic days St. Pepsi, you know, early 2013... Just masses of music he's putting out all the time. And, you know, we're getting some amazing stuff. You know, Empire Building, Hit Vibes, there's some brilliant music that
Hit Vibes is
outstanding,
man.
And the year after, 2014, he decides to sort of he decides to start singing, and he's a really good singer. It's like, oh, sick! This is going to be his new thing as Skylar Spence. You know, mixing a bit of that future funk with some singing. This is really cool. And then he only put out one album, and you're like, well, you know, what's going on here? I don't think he was. I think, well, at least from listening to his first album, maybe I sort of garnered the impression that he didn't enjoy writing songs as much as he did producing them. So in terms of like singing over his stuff, for example, you know, I don't think he's ever really toured his music that he sings. He's really into just DJing his stuff when he plays live shows. So to me, that sort of says, you know, he's much more into, you know, the classic future funk sort of stuff rather than writing songs. So it seemed like he would move back into that soon after. And in 2016 he made this album called Cash Wednesday. He made most of it, basically all of it.
That is,
he didn't actually properly release any of this music in this time. I think maybe this was going to be the next release from him. Because because I don't think he actually put out anything properly until 2019. And I think a large part of that was probably case in point because I don't know if he'd lost that music around this time or what. I know that he was definitely DJing some of this stuff. He got really into DJing and playing live DJ sets. But sometime around this period, he loses Cash Wednesday. The hard drive, he has it on breaks or something like that. He no longer has it. But he's been DJing some of these songs, so he should know some of them. Ajax is one of them. So he recreates it in a modern style, taking inspiration from Brian Wilson Presents Smile, I'm sure. Probably not. And in 2023 he puts out Cash Wednesday, which I had seen multiple times but wasn't really sure what to make of the release. And I think that was largely because on his Skylar Spence album Prom King, he has a song called Cash Wednesday on it. And I think there's probably, I don't know if it's similar with other people, but there's a part of my brain which goes, it finds it hard to compute these two different things at the same time, if that makes sense. So I'm sort of thinking, oh, okay, we got a song called Cash Wednesday, but now we've got an album as well? Like, what's going on here? This is really weird. And it was only until recently that this song popped up in my recommended, and I thought, oh, this is absolutely sick. I have to listen to the whole album. Sorry. So I did. On top of that, it's now it's the highest rated future funk album on Radio Music, which I think is incredibly poetic. That the king of future funk has finally been awarded his crown. I think that's very poetic and deserved. Yeah, I thought it was good. I've only listened to it once, so I don't know. It didn't hit me as I didn't listen to it and go, wow, this is better than Hit Vibes, for example. But I did like it, and there's definitely some songs on there that I want to come back to and listen to more. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Cash Wednesday. Pretty interesting story, and yeah, for those who haven't listened to St. Pepsi yet, please do. Gold Dust.
That is it. It's Gold Dust. I love my favourite takeaway with this is that I love that. I mean, vaporwave. It's like it's kind of two things at once. It's a bit mysterious because it is a music genre almost entirely created by faceless producers. We don't really know these people. They just sort of go by pseudonyms. But at the same time, it's really oversaturated. It has become really oversaturated. And so areas of it still retain that mystery, but parts of it, I think, you think of vaporwave, and you don't even necessarily think of any particular names anymore. You just think of a general sound and a general picture. But it's lovely when the kings and queens of vaporwave can still have this kind of lore behind them. And really, I think, at least between you and I think if we were to pick someone who deserved this kind of, thing to stick by them with vaporwave, It's sorry, I'm really distracted, and you can keep this in if you want. I've just seen a Canadian player break their leg.
Oh gosh.
To the point that it's like a different shape.
Ooh.
And it's actually quite sickening because he doesn't scream. He falls back after the challenge from the Qatar player. And then you just see, and you've got, some Canadian players are crying because it's horrible to look at. But there's just this moment where he kind of looks down at his leg and his eyes just widen in horror.
Oh gosh.
It's quite sickening, that. Sorry, what I was saying is, if any vaporwave producer deserves that, I think you and I would agree. We're St. Pepsi guys. We're going to back St. Pepsi.
100%.
This guy is one of, if not the GOAT of one of the most saturated genres in the world, not just the internet, and that is quite something. So let us talk about St. Pepsi in 2026. Let's talk about him next year. Let's talk about him next decade. What a guy.
Forever the king. Long may he retain his crown.
I mean, I can't think of any other vaporwave producers that have been canonized into sainthood.
No,
so.
Not at all. Okay, I do believe we're halfway through. We are going to provide exactly what we've had in the first half in the second half, but new extracts, new music, new stimuli for you to focus on. It's going to be fun. Please come back.
Please return my calls, please.
We'll see you there.